Hey everyone, it's Rebecca here with Team Ladybug, and I'm here with February's Beetle Box, where I did a set of romantic nails for you in light colors. So the Beetle Box this month came with 4 custom glitters and a gel polish. The gel polish is from the new line, and this is part of the lip gloss collection. This particular one is Smooth Talker Gloss Gel Polish. It is a very pale pink color, and it is meant to be layered if you want more depth of color, but it's a really sheer pink. Okay, and then these are the 4 custom glitters that were made. The first one is a pink glitter called Perfect Pout, and that one has a lot of shine to it and a lot of sparkle. And the second color is called Hershy Bar, and that is a chocolate colored glitter. I didn't happen to use that in this set, but you could use it full cover or over as a gradient. And then this next one is called Gloss Boss. It is a silvery glitter. It's more on the sheer side, has quite a bit of sparkle to it as well. And then the last glitter is called Smooched, and that one has a purple tone to it, and this one might be my favorite. It's really pretty, different color sparkles in there. So everybody got the same 4 glitters, but you might have gotten a different polish. Okay, I wanted you to see what these would look like as a full cover glitter. So I've done these. There's nothing underneath. The color may change if you put a different color as a base and you don't use them sheer, but this is what they look like sheer. I just love the glitters. Okay, along with the variety of gel polishes, there was a choice of either getting the Chasing Cherubs and Starfish foils, or you could have gotten the Strawberry Caramel and Cupid's Dream. They both match each other, and I've used both of them in this set just so I can give you some variety and show you how to use them. Alright, for this set of nails, along with everything that's in the Beetle Box, you're going to need some other things. First, you'll need the Wet Look Top Gel. You'll also need matte top gel and metallic glaze. And I'm also going to use a ombre brush and a 9mm brush. If there's something else, I'll add it in. I'll show you along the way. Okay, first things first, we do need foil gel and our 9mm brush. I've taken the liberty of putting a single coat of the lip gloss polish on here and a matte top coat. Now I'm taking the foil gel and I'm going to make a French manicure. Basically, I put the matte on so you could see where this is. You don't really have to put the matte on, but just for purposes of showing you, I did. And I'm using my 9mm brush to fix up and make sure that my French manicure is on the lines that I want, and fairly even. It doesn't have to be perfect at this point because we're going to do some other things, but just try to get it as good as you can with the foil gel. Once you have the smile line the way you want, we're going to go ahead and cure this for 2 minutes. Okay, now that I'm back, I'm taking the Starfish foil and I'm just going to place it right over the edge of the smile line, and I'm going to burnish it in with a wipe. Okay, it looks pretty good. Looks like I might have missed a spot, but the outline doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to cover that up anyway. So we would take metallic glaze at this point and cover the whole thing to make sure that the foil does not come off, because as you know, shiny doesn't stick to shiny, and we need a surface that will be like a double-sided sticky tape. Okay, while the metallic glaze is wet, I'm going to take some Smooched, and I'm also going to take some Perfect Pout, and I'm going to use these 2 glitters with a 9mm brush, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glitter along the spot where there was a tiny bit of foil that was missed. And I'm also going to add it along the smile line. So just some glitter in the background, a little bit of extra pizzazz, I guess you'd say. And push that into the metallic glaze. It's a little bit thicker viscosity, so you can pretty much make sure it's under the metallic glaze. You don't really have to do much more if you're not adding a whole bunch of glitter, but I'm just adding it to the smile line and a little bit here and there on the bottom. Once you're happy with how that is, you can go ahead and cure this metallic glaze for 60 seconds in the lamp. If you find that you need a layer of metallic glaze, you can add that, but what I'm going to do is add a layer of foil gel to the top of this. It's a little bit thicker anyway, and it's going to cover up the inconsistencies with a little bit of glitter that might leave a bump or something. I'm just going to make sure this is really smooth, covering the whole surface of the nail, and once I'm happy with how that looks, I'm going to cure for 2 minutes. Okay, now I'm back. I have a little bit of the foil, and I'm going to cut out one of the Cupids on here, or Cherubs, and I'm just going to see if I want some flowers or if I want the Cherub on here. So I'm going to cut out, try to get around his foot and cut a few different pieces. I'm not sure where I'm going with this yet. So it's nice that they're a little bit of space around them, I guess you'd say, so that you can, you know, see what you're going to do and where you're going to do it. And I think I'm going to do flowers on this one, so I'm going to cut pretty close to the edge of the flower because I want to overlay one flower next to the other, and I just need to make sure the edges are right on this so it's not going to, I don't know if the foil is going to leave anything on there, and I don't want to take a chance with that. So I want both flowers to stick. So I'm just going to place the one flower where I want it, and I can burnish that in if you have one of those smushy or a silicone tool or whatever. If you want to burnish it in, you can do it with that. And then I'm going to pick up the other piece of foil right where the flower is and put that on as well. And I'm just using the back of my tweezers to burnish this in because I know how I am, and I never press hard enough with my finger. I know with the tweezers, the back of the tweezers, I can get this whole thing on and I'm not going to miss any bits. Or if I do miss any bits, it's going to be really small and I can go back and put that on before I pull the whole foil off. So I'm just taking my time here and really burnishing this whole thing in. I'm pressing, but I'm not, you know, pressing it so hard that it rips the foil. And you'll see once I'm done and when I start to pull this off how good of a coverage that we've got anyway. I'm just taking all the precautions here and trying to make sure I get every inch of bit of those flowers on the nail. Okay. So I've pressed this on really well. It looks like there's a spot there I didn't quite get. But take your time and do the whole thing. And then I've done it so well that the whole thing is ripping off and leaving just the perfect flower on there. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to take metallic glaze and just cover the whole thing. Then go ahead and cure that for 60 seconds once the metallic glaze is on. All right, so now we're back and we're going to cover this with Ladybug Luster Wet Look Top Gel. Happy with that nail and cure that, and then that's one nail down and we're good. Okay, for this next nail I did a base layer of white and then I did one layer of the Smooth Talker gloss, and now I'm doing a second layer and I'm going to cure that. And I also put a matte top coat over it just so you can see what I'm doing. So here I'm taking some foil gel and I'm going to put some on my palette. I don't need much. And then I'm going to get the ombre brush. And I'm only getting the very tip of the ombre brush with the foil gel. And I want to see the brush marks. I'm going to make little squiggles with the brush marks here and there on the nail. And I want it to just be fine. I don't want it to be super thick. I don't want blobs. I want to be able to see the lines of the brush. I hope you can see, I'm zooming in and I want you to see exactly what I'm doing here. So I'm not making it a solid. I'm doing lines so that it gives some texture to this nail. So once you see the next step, you'll see exactly why I did this as a texture as opposed to a solid color. Okay. So we've cured the nail for 2 minutes and now I'm back with the strawberry caramel foil, and you could use any of the foils with this really because we are just getting bits of the foil. It's not the whole foil, it's, you know, only a little bit where we put the foil gel. So once you see what happens when I take the foil off, you're going to see a lot of bits. Okay, it looks like some of the extra foil came on there, so I'm going to take a nail brush and just brush off the extra bits. Of course, the tip comes off. But I'm just going to brush it off so only the parts that are on the foil itself will stay. And that's my final result. That's what I was going for. I only wanted partial coverage of the foil. Now I'm going to take some metallic glaze just so this all sticks down and we don't have any issues with peeling or anything. And I'm going to cover the whole nail with a very thin coat, and then I'm going to cure for 60 seconds. So I had put some of the Hershey bar on there and I didn't like the way it looks, so I wiped it off with some alcohol, and it's still sticky, which is really great because now I want to add a tiny bit of the Gloss Boss. See, it's still sticky. It comes right off the tip holder, which isn't really great anyway. And I'm just going to add a little bit here and there just for some sparkle on this because we've already got the texture, and now we're just going to add the glimmer. And like I said, just a little bit here and there once you're happy with what you have, and you can press that down and it really holds. It's a new thing I did with the metallic glaze. I'd never wiped it off and tried to use it as a sticky surface before, but it really works to hold the glitter. So keep that in mind. If you ever have that happen, you can wipe it off and still use it. So at this point, we're going to add metallic glaze just to seal everything in, and then you can add your top coat over the top of that. But metallic glaze, cure for 60 seconds, add a top coat, and then this nail is done. And honestly, this turned out to be my favorite one. I just love the simplicity of it. Okay, for the next nail, I have your base on here, and then I'm taking a white gel and I'm just doing kind of a weird swish. I did this to a couple nails just to see what I wanted, and I'm just messing around as I go along. I don't have a plan really, except I know I want foil on the bottom and I want some blank space because I'm going to add one of the Cupids to the top. So just do a squiggly base where you're going to put your foil, and I'm using white as a background so it does have something behind it. And then once you're happy with the design you have, you can cure that and get ready for the next step. Okay, I decided that I also want to add some of the sheer color to this just to give it a little bit of color in the background. Keep in mind these are super sheer colors in this box. Okay, and then I did another white on the base, and I'm just going to add the pink color Smooth Talker gloss to this one as well to give it some color. And once I'm happy with the way that is, I can fully cure these and they'll be ready for the next step. Okay, we're back with the next step. I'm just taking foil gel and I'm putting it over all of the white areas. So both of the nails, I'm going to do foil gel on the bottom. If you need a 9mm to, pull up some of the gel, you can do that. Just make sure it's smooth and use your big brush to get it as smooth as you possibly can. Cure those for 2 minutes and then come back for the foiling step. Okay, so I've got the strawberry caramel foil and I'm going to cut up a piece and just put it on this one nail, set the other one aside, pull taut, press down, and I'm going to take some scissors and make slits in this so that I know that the foil will get full coverage on here. It doesn't have to be perfect because, again, we're going to be putting some things over it, but I'd like it to be as good as possible. And this time, I'm going to start with a Squeegee Tool to press the foil down. Doing it on a tip holder is not ideal, honestly, if you don't have a good adhesive. And I think I need to change out the adhesive on these, but just do your best to press it down. If you need to switch to wipe and push it down with that, or if you want to go another route, you can go ahead, but just make sure this is put on as well as you can. And then once you've got it all down, you can go ahead and peel it off and make sure that everything is attached. and we'll go from there. Okay, again, just gonna peel this off and hope for the best. And it looks like most of it's off, most of it's on. Whatever's not on doesn't matter at this point. We're gonna use metallic glaze and we'll just cover this up. I thought that white spot was not supposed to be there, but when I looked back at the foil, there is a white spot on there. Okay, now I'm going to take Starfish and I'm going to do the same thing to this one. I'm just going to place it down and I'm going to rub it on. It's more at the point, so there is less area to worry about, and I don't have to cut this one, I don't think. So I'm just going to rub it in as best I can, make sure it's secured down, and then I'll peel it up and see where we go from there. Okay, and peel up. Oh, that one left a white line. I really like that, so we'll work with that. Okay, now I'm going to use metallic glaze and cover this up. Just have to cover up the end, and then I'm going to do the pink at the bottom before I cure the metallic glaze. Maybe blend it a little bit in there, and then we're good to go. Okay, so now I am back with the foil gel, and this time I'm covering the whole nail with the foil gel, and I'm going to do the Cupid, but I'm not sure if it's going to overlap, so I want to do the whole nail with this. Okay, and same goes for this nail. Cover the whole nail with foil gel because we're going to use the other foil to go with this one, and we'll add some cute little cupids or flowers to this as well. So fully cover the whole nail, cure both of those for 2 minutes, and then I'll meet you back here. Okay, so these are the 2 sets of foils, and these are the cupids that go with that one that would have come in the box, and these are the cupids that go with this one. And I just want to see what I'm doing here, so I'm going to cut out little bits and try to find something that will go with the nail. I love the clear on these so you can see exactly what you're going to put where, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do the double cupids with the flower or if I'm just going to do the one cupid. So I'm going to cut out a couple of different things here, and then I'll decide as I go which one I want to use. But you get quite a few cupids in, you know, the foil that was provided in the box, so should be good to go and see what you want to use for your nails. I really like this guy, and I think with the way that the nail, the foil line that I've done on there, and with the sheer part in the background, I think he's gonna work pretty well with what I want. But then I can save those other pieces for later if I want to use those later too. Okay, so I've got those. Let me set those aside for later. And now the other foil is a little bit more detailed. There's a little bit more going on, but I like all these little tiny flowers. If you have any spots that you were missing foil, or if you just want to fill in an area, this is really great. I mean, you could do these as full color or full coverage as well. If you wanted a sheer nail with this all over the whole thing, or if you wanted a solid color with this over the whole thing. I cannot say enough about these little cupids. I didn't realize how much I would love them, but they're so adorable. And the little flowers, you can cut those out and use them too. So once you have everything cut out and you're looking at your nails, you can take your little bits and hold them over and see what you want. I mean, obviously you could do that before you actually cut everything out, but I like to see exactly what I'm going to be doing. So this foil goes with this one, and I feel like I kind of like him. I don't know if this is too, yeah, I think that's just too small to put on there, and I don't want to try to place it. So I'm just going to use the big piece that I cut out, and I'm going to place him down, and well, that's it. I already stuck him, so he is there and he's not going anywhere. I like the placement, so that's good anyway. And I'm just going to burnish him in with the tweezers again, just so I make sure I get every little detail done. So I'm just doing it delicately now to make sure there's no wrinkles. And if I needed to cut any parts, I probably could. I don't know if I need to do that until I go along. So you might want to have nippers available or those really tiny scissors in case you need to get a little spot. Looks like some glitter got stuck on there because you know it gets everywhere once you have it. That's okay. So I am just going to burnish this in with the back of the tweezers. And I've been doing so much work with the alcohol and acetone and wiping off everything. My hand looks so dry. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, just go ahead and burnish that in as much as you can and make sure he is on there. So again, I'm not going to sit here and make you watch this whole thing, but I am burnishing it in and you can see exactly where I placed him. Okay, I'm back for the big reveal and whoop, looks like we missed one tiny spot, of course. And I'll just burnish that in and then voila, there he goes. I'm peeling it off slowly because if, you know, I missed a part, if I peel it off really slowly, I can burnish that back in, and that looks good. The perfectionist in me won't let that one little bit go, but I am getting it there. There he is. Perfect. So he is on there and he looks good. Okay, now I'm going to take some of the Girl Boss glitter. I've still got sticky spots on there because it was foil gel, and foil gel will hold glitter if you want. You can use it for glitter placement if you need to. I just want to add a tiny bit of glitter, not a lot of glitter, just a tiny bit, because I like a little bit of shine and sparkle, well, to every nail. Anyway, once you're happy with your glitter, then you can go ahead and add some metallic glaze and put a really thin coat on and cure that for 60 seconds. Once you've done that, you can add wet look top gel, cure that for a full 60 seconds, and then that nail is done. On to our other nail that we did the foil on. Look at how cute those little cupids are. Do we want to do those or do we want to do the single one? I don't know. I've also got a flower I can add, but I think it's the single Cupid. I think I like the way he looks. I like the way he's angled, and that's what I'm going to use. Okay, and I'm just going to stick him on, and he does not need to be cut either, but we'll just burnish that in as usual with the back of the tweezers. I like a lot more control when I'm doing this, and it probably would be better to use a squeegee, but personally I'm just using the back of the tweezers, and you can use a squeegee or the tweezers, whatever you'd like. So anyway, once I'm done with this and I've got it all burnished on, we can go ahead and peel that off. Looks like a little spot on the leg. It's always the edge that gets me for some reason. And here we are. Oh, our foil ripped, but that's fine as long as we're getting the whole thing on there, and he's good. All right, so we've got our Cupid right on there, and we're ready to go to the next step. Okay, so I'm going to apply a thin coat of metallic glaze to the whole nail. I'm doing this for two reasons. One, to cover up, and another because I'm going to add some of the Perfect Pout pink glitter to this top of this. So I'm just taking the ombre brush and I am getting a little bit around the top, and I'm going to pull it down just to make it blend into the bottom. Again, I like glitter. You don't have to do this part if you don't want to, but I just want a little bit of ombre of the glitter in there. And once that's done, we can cure it and come back for the final. Okay, so now I'm just going to put a top coat over the whole top of this, cure that, and that's our next nail done. Okay, because I'm aware some of you got different colors, I used a more creamy color on this one for the background, and then I put a layer of foil gel on it and cured for 2 minutes. So now I'm taking the full foil, just to show you that you can use this as a full coverage foil, and I'm going to place it down on the foil on the nail. And I'm also going to take scissors and cut in between the bits to try to make sure that it gets full coverage without any gaps or any weird things in it. I don't want wrinkles in my foil. So I'm just going to cut along the edge where I can to make it look good. And then I'm going to take a wipe and burnish the whole thing in. So rub really well with, look periodically to make sure you're getting what you need to get. I struggle with the full cover tips foil for some reason. I don't know. It's easier to do foil on a regular person for me. Anyway, so once you have that done, you can peel off the bottom, and then you're going to want to add the metallic glaze over the whole tip because you've got a lot coverage there and you want it to stay on. Then I'm just going to take a top coat and I'm going to cover it up. You can either do this in matte or shiny. All right, so I also decided to show you what to do with a full coverage, how to apply the glitter full coverage, even though I'm sure most of you know. So I'm just taking the metallic glaze and putting it fully over the nail, and then I am going to add the glitter with a little scoop, making sure to get full coverage. I don't want to dip the whole nail in it, but you could do that if it's just tips and you're not putting it on a person. And then I'm just going to take and press in the glitter to make sure it's all flat. And once that's all pressed in and the way I want, I'll go ahead and cure that. And then once I'm done, I'm going to take metallic glaze again and I'm going to put it over the top of it just to give it a nice layer of coverage. And I'm floating this on. I'm also going to take the ombre brush and mush it in because I don't want to use my metallic glaze brush and get it all filled with glitter. It's not a lot of glitter, as you can see, because I pressed it in pretty hard, but there is still some glitter in my brush and I don't want to transfer that back to the bottle. So really make sure that you're working that in and you have all of it in the nooks and crannies, and then you can top coat this and this nail will be done for the full coverage glitter. Okay, I'm also going to show you an alternative to scooping it on if you don't feel comfortable with that. Do full coverage metallic glaze over the whole tip of the nail, the whole fingertip or the whole nail tip, and then you're going to take your ombre brush and just dab it on. If you don't feel comfortable scooping the glitter, or if you want more control and you don't want it all over the place, you can just dab it on and do like an ombre effect. You could do full coverage this way, or you can just dab it on and have like just an ombre where it's thicker at the bottom and thinner at the top, and you don't have to have very much glitter at the base. So go ahead and make sure that you have the coverage that you want, and then go ahead and press that in. You can also use your fingertip to press this in, but once you've done it with the ombre brush, it's really not necessary. So go ahead and cure that. Okay, now I'm taking some of these Smooth Talker gloss gel, and I'm adding like what would be a single coat, but I'm sort of floating it on because I don't want to get glitter, any loose glitter in my nail. And I'm just going to dab that on a little bit and make sure it goes down to about where the ombre gets bigger. And then I'm going to take metallic glaze and I'm going to put it at the other end in just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to take my ombre brush and I'm going to blend these. So this is basically one layer of color, a little bit too thick there. So just move it around to make sure it's where it's supposed to be. I had tilted the nail a little bit too much, so it blended. So you really only want one sheer layer of color blending into the clear, and once you have that the way you want it, you can go ahead and cure. Make sure it's not too thick in any area. It's really supposed to be only one coat of coverage, and you may need to take some off, but it looks good to me. All right, then you're going to top with Ladybug Luster Wet Look Top Gel and cure that for 60 seconds, and then that is our final nail of this set. I'd like to point out that I used a combination of the Velvet Touch Matte Top Gel and the Ladybug Luster Wet Look Top Gel. I think the matte gives a really soft look, but I also like the shiny, so either way you go, you'll be good. I had a lot of fun making these for you, and I hope you enjoyed them as well. They're just a really soft and pretty nail. So as usual, we love to see your work. So anything you've done using these products or anything along this line, please tag us and let us see what you've done. See you next month.